what's Pittsburgh now? What's it for now? Now that no one builds anything out of steel, everything's renderite. It's all apps now.
UPMC. It's just for UPMC.
Yeah,
It's where you go. It's where
yeah.
you go to see buses in comical situations.
Yes.
We do have a lot of sinkholes. That is a fun thing about Pittsburgh. And this was my favorite sinkhole moment, I think, was this bus getting caught in here. We also had a bridge fall down, and then Joe Biden had to come and promise that he was going to make the bridge go back
And
up.
there was a bus that was dangling off the side of that too.
Yeah. They rescued it. They rescued this bus too. They were both rescued.
I like how this
so
looks like
you guys
it's
are
like
worried about the buses
rearing up from the sinkhole in order to like bus coming out of its sinkhole to shame Pittsburgh.
Also, what the fuck is this?
This is I just googled Steelers football, and the first result I found was this Snapchat from Heinz Field where it says, "I've never been happier. Dude pooped his pants and is washing them in the sink. Steeler football is back."
Washing them
at.
I want to point out that it says washing them at in the sink, which is how you would write it in Pittsburghese, because in Pittsburgh there is its own like dialect and sort of accent.
It's a really fucked up way to speak. I will not.
It's not. No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It comes from the very first, Scotch Irish immigrants who came over, and it's also got a little bit of Southern in it, and there's its own. We've got our own sort of vocabulary for things, and is So if you were to read this in Yinzerby, I've never been happier. Dude pooped his pants and is washing them out in the sink. Steeler football is back, baby.
How does that not make you want to kill yourself?
I think it's beautiful. To me, it sounds like home. Doesn't it warm your heart? Jens just ain't got no sense of humor. That's what it is.
I'm from the fucked up part of Pennsylvania where we get half Pittsburgh, half Philly, half Baltimore. I know that's three halves, just like there's three rivers somehow. Just like, you ever heard the word Rutchin? If I say Rutchin, do you know what I mean?
No, what the fuck?
I don't think I've ever heard
That's
of
Pennsylvania Dutch. Yeah, that's real fucked up. Okay, moving on. Let me ask you a question, Ben. Let me ask you a question, Ben. How many kinds of chicken pot pie are there? There is a correct answer. There is a correct answer.
How many kinds of chicken pot pie are there? Like, I don't know, 2?
Yes, it is 2. Because there's the fucked up Amish chicken pot pie, which is just soup, and then there's actual chicken pot pie. Okay, I just wanted to make sure we all knew that there were 2 kinds of chicken pot pie.
I don't want to try it, but I do want to see it. The fucked up Amish pot pie that is basically soup.
It's just soup.
Amish.
There's also
just soup.
Oh wow, that really is just
Amish?
soup.
I told you, it's just.
When do
soup.
you get off calling that a pie?
The Amish, you hit enough animals, and you get to rename shit whatever you want.
But it's not a pie because it doesn't have any pastry. Like
I know. This is what I had to endure for 18 years.
Yeah, Amish foods were like Pennsylvania Dutch foods real weird. I don't know a lot about it, but anytime I've you ever heard of Scrapple?
Yes,
I don't know if you guys ever heard
we
of
do Scrapple out here
on the
yes.
podcast. Yeah, that's distressing, I find.
There's some
it's not my thing.
Shoe fly pie. What if with just molasses? Fuck you.
Yes.
I think it's.
I will say one.
We should have a meetup at Shady Maple, Roz.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll just go fuck myself.
It's fun to go there once, and then once you've gone, you never have to go again.
I have to make my pilgrimage. It's like getting maple donuts, man. I just sort of avert my eyes and order 24 donuts and hope nobody notices me.
One thing I will say about the Amish, in Western Pennsylvania and stuff, is it is kind of wild. I used to live near the hospital in Pittsburgh, one of the big hospitals in Pittsburgh, the Children's Hospital, and there would just be Amish dudes out smoking a pipe in their suspenders. And it was kind of a hipster neighborhood, but they were fully out hipstering the hipsters, and I respect them so much for that. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They don't smell amazing though. If you've ever been on a train, if you ever end up on a train car with a bunch of Amish,
we know Justin's prejudice against.
I have prejudice against the Amish. Yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I don't know about
this
those.
is the one group against whom Justin is racist.
Yeah, exactly. God's not real. Buy a car.
So what you're saying is you're cool with the Mennonites because they will drive.
Oh yeah, Mennonites are fine.
Mennonites are fine. Yeah.
You have like that
Amazing.
toxic car culture in one respect only, and it's seeing a guy with like a chin strap beard like driving a horse and buggy, and it just infuriates you.
We should maybe go to the next slide because I also want to comment.
The one thing that people in Pittsburgh do that I want to draw out: shit in the basement.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so it's just I mean, so I will say, like, people I know who still have this quote unquote Pittsburgh toilet usually have built like, walls around them at this point.
No,
for the record.
I don't believe you. I think you're just shitting in like a wide open, like 360-degree sight line, shitting in the middle of your basement. And I don't understand it.
And what's your problem with it?
Well,
this is a sick society, man. You can't work in
the mines, you get dirty, you get covered in
exactly.
Oh, God knows what, and you deserve to come back and take a nice hot steamer, stare your family in the face.
Crowd your family into the basement so they can
like Lyndon Johnson look like a pussy. Yes.
Well, I will say it is kind of because of the mines and stuff, and then still work, because basically, like, you would be really dirty and you wouldn't want to track all of that, schmutz through the house, and so you would go in through the basement, and then you could have you could wash up in the basement.
I get that. I get having like a boot room. I get having a basement. I get having like a basin in there. The toilet aspect of it.
Yeah.
So another theory as to why these exist is that they would sort of, if there was a sewage backup, the sewage would pour out of the toilet into the basement as opposed to in the main living area.
Oh, you have a sacrificial toilet? That's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I will say Pittsburgh has like a lot of because all the houses are built like into the sides of hills, like there's mudslides and flooding, and it can get a little apocalyptic sometimes, but it's a beautiful place and everyone should go visit, and I don't want this to turn anybody
Everyone
off.
should go visit. The slide here is of a toilet in an unfinished concrete basement.
Yeah. I'm just imagining you could get a really bad backup because let's say the sewage backs up at the top of the escarpment and you're at a house at the bottom. You've got 80 or 90 feet of head on that sewage backup that's going to blast out of your toilet. And then,
oh yes,
straight through the roof of the house.
Oh God. I like it. I shudder to think if that's ever actually. I'm sure it has. It must have happened at some point. That's terrifying to think about. I'm gonna have nightmares about that.
Good idea to live on the top of the hill. You avoid problems like this.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it was kind of like that, where wealthier people would live on the higher ground, basically, more or less. So you have Highland Park, which is on high land and is, a little less prone to flooding. And those are slightly nicer houses.
Yeah, it's so fancy you don't even need a basement toilet.
You don't need one.
Wait, hold on.
You
I think
want one. You deserve one, Alice.
I really don't.
You deserve to have Chris stare you in the face as he takes a nice warm steamer.
Horrifying.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
You dropped out a bit on the Zencaster, but I think that's probably fine so long as your local's still going.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure because I was getting a little notification. Okay, cool. Yeah. So there was something else I was gonna say about Pittsburgh. Oh, I will say that it kind of has, a bad rep for being kind of dirty and polluted, which you can sort of see in the next slide. But it's cleaned up a lot since
Ew.
but
Gross.
It's cleaned up a lot.
Oh yeah, that is
back in the day.
Beautiful color.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of the most overcast cities in the United States. I think they get like it typically holds a record for like fewest days of sunshine a year.
Why is the river greasy?
But it's cleaner than it used to be.
This is bad to say. It doesn't look that bad.
No, it's not.
Come
like,
on.
This isn't Cleveland. Like, it's not. This isn't the Cuyahoga or whatever. It's not going to catch on fire. So
it's got a sheen. It's got like a sheen on it.
Right. This is just what a river looks like when it has sediment in it because it's raining.
Yeah, it's just like
this is normal.
It's a very like I saw one of the divers describe it as like brown water. It's just because it's like an old river and it's very silty bottom, so it does look quite brown. But it's not as dirty as it used to be. Like my math teacher once told us a story about how when he was a kid, he used to have to like sweep the like steps every single day because of how dirty and polluted it was. And like that is not the case anymore. So, we have that going for us.
Oh yeah, there's some old pictures out there of like one of the old Wabash Bridge over the Monongahela, and there's like you can't even see the other end of this relatively short bridge for all the smog from all the mills.
Yeah, I actually maybe I'll grab it. Hold on. I have like a little poem that I found from an old newspaper in like 1914 about this. Wait, hold on. I'm just gonna grab it like really quickly.
The 17th most polluted river in the country, according to the EPA.
That ain't bad.
That's not bad at all. Yeah, that's not even top 10. What's the most polluted river?
That's a great question.
I'm just defaulting to the Cuyahoga.
It's probably not the Cuyahoga. They lost so much industry.
Yeah, it used to be maybe, but all right. So
that's the Ohio, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that starts in
that
Pittsburgh.
Is in Pittsburgh. Yeah. Okay, so here's.
Yeah, it probably doesn't get really polluted until like the Kana joins it or something,
Yeah. So here's this poem. It's from 1907 that I bought because I thought it was hilarious. It's just called Pittsburgh. It says, "Here's to grim Pittsburgh, the city of smoke, where the sky's but a memory and sunshine a joke, where the incense of stogies perfumeth the air, but in spite of her faults, we all love to be there." And on this edition that I've purchased, somebody in pencil has inserted the word "don't" between all and love. So it says, "We all don't love to be there." So, but that was 1907. It's much nicer now. Just for the record.